Hi everyone and welcome to FPI, Free Practice Impressions of the Singapore Grand Prix. I'm Beatrice from MotorLAT's British team, and today of course I'm going to discuss this Friday amid the huge F1 domino of announcements concerning McLaren, Honda, Toro Rosso and Renault, Carlos Sainz of course. In this melting pot of announcements, I'm going also to talk about the free practices and about Red Bull. Of course, Red Bull utterly dominated both sessions. Daniel Ricciardo came up on top by setting the fastest lap today and setting a new track record, demolishing the previous ones. His best time was 1 minute 40 seconds 0.8, which is rather impressive, but even more impressive is his teammate Max Verstappen being very consistent as well on ultra softs, and he was setting a slightly slower lap time but very competitive as well. They have a huge chance here at Marina Bay circuit because it's going to be the aerodynamics mostly. Their chassis is great and they are proving it. They just have to maximize all the potential they have, and they will have a great race, and probably they are going to fend off one of the two top teams. Now Ferrari is expected to be one of the absolute favorites on this track, and Mercedes is going to be a little bit underperforming in Singapore. It was expected because they said that, of course, power tracks are their mojo, like Spa and Monza, while Singapore is more with Ferrari. They are going to perform better, and probably it shows from the race paces because Ferrari solely focused on the race pace. Actually, Vettel was just doing qualifying simulations with soft tyres. This is why he's 11th in today's chart, as well as Raikkonen was 9th, but on the ultra softs. So Vettel was setting a very competitive and promising, at least, race pace, also on softs. Even though he was a bit seesawing, setting a 48.7, 49.2, 47.2, back to 46.9, so it was seesawing, but not seesawing as Hamilton's, because it was more unstable with the pace, setting 46, 47s, 52, not just with the traffic. He was not just dealing with traffic, he was also struggling a bit, and we saw many drivers actually spinning, making slight mistakes, kissing the wall. We listened to many sim radios like this one today, so it's pretty understandable. People and drivers mostly are seeking for the limit, are just looking for the best performance out there with these 2017 cars, which, as I've previously stated, are very difficult and extreme, not only from a mechanical side but also from a driving side. So they have to adapt very well to the racetrack, and this one particularly is very surgical, so people are going to study the perfect lines in order not to make mistakes, and this is going to be crucial. So Ferrari is definitely going to have a strong pace, as well as Red Bull. Red Bull have been very impressive. They have worked not on softs but on super softs, and they were setting very, very competitive lap times. Actually, Ferrari can encounter an alliance with Red Bull. They can be teammates, I believe, against Mercedes, because genuinely Red Bull this weekend, thanks to their chassis, is going to fend off at least one of the two Mercedes drivers, which is going to help massively Ferrari, probably in catching up with the Constructors' Championship, because probably due to Kimi Raikkonen they are a bit behind, but not so much, and they can actually catch up a little bit. So Red Bull will definitely be a contender for the podium, I think, and also in qualifying they're going to do well. The race pace of Mercedes, on the contrary, is a bit seesawing, but I believe that when they are going to raise their engine mappings, they're going to get more competitive, and just like the customers like Force India, which are currently placing 8th and 10th with Perez and Ocon, they are going to probably be stable in the top 10 thanks to this engine mapping rising. So I think that Mercedes is going to grow throughout the weekend, even though they are not the favourites, clearly. But again, we can see in the top 10 other contenders, other faces that we are not used to seeing here, just like Nico Hulkenberg, which today has been very, very impressive in 5th position, as well as Stoffel Vandoorne. He was 6th on a McLaren Honda and driving for the first time in Singapore. He's a rookie on this track and he has done pretty well so far, considering the fact that he has never raced here. And furthermore, I think that he's going to struggle a little bit on Sunday because the high temperatures, the high humidity is going to be very tricky for young drivers, or at least people who are not used to that. I can remember that Daniel Kvyat in his rookie year in 2014, so he was very, he was struggling so much. He was begging his race engineer to retire the car while he was in the middle of the race due to the heat. And it was quite painful to watch because a youngster, he was like 18 or 19 years old, not feeling quite well during a race due to the temperatures, due to the sweat, and you're going to lose a lot of weight as well, so it's not going to be a very easy one for young drivers, and you also have to be on point with your fitness conditions, so you have to train. People like Fernando Alonso are massively used to this. He has won previously on this track, and also his fitness is still one of the best, and it shows. He was 7th today. He could have been going for better performances, and there was a nice exchange in FP1 with his race engineer Mark Temple. He was saying that they were 7th, it was good, but Fernando said that it didn't matter if he was 7th, they could have been just P1 with another engine, and he was probably hinting at the imminent announcement that came right after the FP1. So yeah, Fernando Alonso, I think that he's going to do quite well, just like his teammate, unless their engine just gives up and betrays them as per usual. But they have been doing a great job so far also in Spa and Monza with the penalties, because they have been just penalized in order to have a good one at Singapore and just exploit all the chances and all the bullets that they have left. They have a huge chance here to collect a few points, which are going to be very important at the end of the season. So I'm expecting to see at least a competitive McLaren to confirm their performances so far, and hopefully they will end up in Q3 as well, just like Force India, as I suppose. And then I'm going to talk about another team which has been rather disappointing. I think it's Williams. They are actually running a new package, an updated package. They have been running a revised floor this morning, as well as some new parts. But actually, they are not running quite well here. Their mojo is the engine rather than the aerodynamics, so it's pretty understandable that they are going to struggle this weekend. But their overall season so far has been quite disappointing, even though Lance Stroll has been providing the greatest moments, the greatest highlights for the team so far, like in Monza with the qualifying session, which was brilliant, and of course with the podium finish in Azerbaijan. So we'll see, but I see him struggling as well for the same problem as it might be for Vandoorne, for other rookies that are not just quite used to the Singapore conditions, and many people regard this performance as a sauna, so it's going to be massively humid and difficult for everyone to breathe and keep up with the high concentration that they are used to having in normal conditions, at least. So I think that the drivers are all going to suffer a little bit. It's going to be a very tough and challenging race and qualifying as well for everyone, and we don't have to rule out anything like crashes, because we have seen it today. Drivers are going to maybe kiss the wall to make some mistakes, and these might be costly mistakes at Singapore. The chances to see a safety car in a race are extremely high, at maximum. So I'm expecting to see an eventful race, possibly. And of course, I'm expecting to see as well some fueled drivers by the recent announcements such as Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, who is moving to Renault next year. It's going to be a loan from Red Bull to Renault for 1 year. So his management is still staying at Milton Keynes with Helmut Marko, who is going to still to play a huge role in his future career decisions. So it will depend solely on him if he's going to be promoted again or demoted back to Toro Rosso. So we'll see. It will all depend on his performance against the teammate, who is going to be Nico Hülkenberg next season. And then I'm expecting to see a strong Ricciardo. Verstappen can at least redeem himself after the recent bad luck that he has encountered. But again, I can see him quite strong, but not as his teammate again. And of course, Stoffel van Dorn as well is going to struggle a bit compared to Fernando Alonso, who is more experienced and is going to actually do well. So I think that youngsters actually have a disadvantage on this track, but I might be wrong. Probably some events will actually make the bigger picture change and we'll see a totally different race, maybe like Azerbaijan from the dramatic point of view, or more quiet and hard fought. I believe that the contention is going to be very, very tight, like always, but probably Ferrari have a slight advantage over the rivals this weekend, so probably we'll see another leader changing on the constructors. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching again, and always leave your questions on Twitter under the hashtag #AskBeatrice_MotorLAT. I will be answering them on Sunday, right before the race. And yeah, they have to be Singapore race related or latest news related. So concerning the deal between McLaren and Honda, Toro Rosso and Honda, Carlos Sainz, and about these topics, which are going to be, of course, very appealing for you. So I'll see you soon, and keep enjoying the Singapore Grand Prix.